Oh god. Okay guys, it is wet and gross, but it is also Sunday, so that means cultural things and getting the most out of my museum card thing that I bought. So I'm here at the Museum Speelklok to go and look at some musical clockwork instrument things. It is also day 5 of my trip, which means that at the end of today I will be officially a quarter of the way through my trip, which is pretty wild actually. Today though, I thought we could talk about German and Dutch and how they're related and how they're not, because I've got a lot of questions about that. So let's go to this museum and I will talk to you about that. Okay, I've just found something that was made in Berlin, so I feel like that gives me a good excuse to get back on topic. So the first thing is, does it make it easier having already spoken German? And the short answer is yes. I mean, everybody on Reddit, everybody on YouTube said, you know, you speak German, and it's not easy, but it is just surreal how many words overlap. Let me show you some examples.
Introduziert. You've got the kind of English verb introduce, which doesn't exist in German, but then you're putting ge and erd at the end, which is German.
So there you're kind of taking an English word and then conjugating it in a German way. Weird. And this honestly seems to happen all the time. It's either one or the other, or sort of a weird mix of the two. So basically the problem for me at the moment isn't necessarily comprehension, it's more about the link between the spelling and the pronunciation. For example, there's lots of words that are pronounced exactly the same or very, very similar in German and Dutch, but are written very differently. For example, the English word also is auch in German and auch in Dutch, but when I see this word, I want to say it as ook or something like that. You've got the same thing for to be. In German, it's sein, and in Dutch, it kind of, you'd have no idea how to pronounce that unless you knew how to speak Dutch, but it's zijn. And there are also false friends though as well. For example, in German, if I like something, then I can say ich mag, but in Dutch, that means to be allowed to do something. So ich mag, so you might use that in a negative to be like, you can't smoke here or something like that, right? So I like smoking versus I'm not allowed to smoke. False friend. So this adds up to a really strange situation where I can understand almost but not quite everything that I hear, and I can understand almost but not quite everything that I read. And those two things don't necessarily overlap all the time. Now that is so good for this early on. I mean, I'm only 5 days into Dutch and I already feel like if I'm in a shop and somebody starts asking me difficult questions, I can kind of get what it is they're on about. The problem with this is that I can't respond because it's okay when the information is coming in, you can kind of get that, but it's getting the information out in Dutch, which is really hard. This is the next cultural place, by the way, Centraal Museum. I've heard that this is a sort of eclectic mix of art and design from around the Netherlands, so personally I'm hoping for another natural history museum kind of stuffed cockerel kind of affair, but we'll see. I don't consider myself an art connoisseur in any way, but I actually quite like this stuff. This is cool. Although I did read that the guy supported fascism in the Netherlands, so I mean there's that. There we go. This is a bit more like what I was led to expect. So, how do you solve this problem? If indeed you can call it a problem, because my friend Lucy would argue with that. I was complaining to her about this recently. She said, Tom, you're trying to speak 4 languages here and you're getting upset about the fact that you're getting confused between the Thor. That is not allowed. So, okay, if we accept that it is a problem, how do you fix it? So my 3 secret weapons, I think, are hoe heet dat in het Nederlands? Kunt u wat langzamer praten? And kunt u dit herhalen? So if I get really, really used to using those phrases all the time and not being embarrassed or weirded out by asking people, then I will probably understand their response. They'll be teaching me Dutch and they'll be teaching me the pronunciation as well because I can just copy them. So it's like win-win-win, basically. So that is going to be my new challenge within a challenge. Get other people to teach me Dutch as much as possible, including pronunciation. That's what we're going to go for. Okay, so on that note, that is rather conveniently the end of the day and the end of the first quarter of my 20 days to Dutch challenge. I don't know if I feel like I'm 25% of the way to fluent in Dutch, but we'll see how it goes. Well, fluency was never the objective. It was A1 or A2, and in that case, I think I'm probably okay. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Remember to subscribe if you want to catch more, because I'm going to be reflecting on that sort of quarter milestone in tomorrow's video. So if you want to check that out, then hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Cheers.